Hey everybody, it's Miss T from the Children's Library of the Plainfield Public Library, and we're going to read today from Horton Hatches the Egg. And if you notice behind me, there's some of your favorite Dr. Seuss characters waving at us. Hey, cat in the hat. Hey everybody. And so we have a captive audience, and so we're going to read, and after we're done, please stick around and Miss J will show you how to make your own elephant. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored and I've got kinks in my legs from sitting, just sitting here day after day. It's work, how I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest. If I can only find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. "Hello!" cried the lazy bird, smiling her best. "You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest?" The elephant laughed. "Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't got wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense." "Tut, tut," answered Maisie. "I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind." "I can't," said the elephant. "Please," begged the bird. "I won't be long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry back. Why, I will never be missed." "Very well," said the elephant, "since you insist. You want a vacation? Go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say." "Toodaloo!" sang out Maisie and fluttered away. The first thing to do," murmured Horton. "Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree, and to make it much stronger, that has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton." Then, carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton the elephant smiled. "Now that's that." And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he sat all day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened. It thundered and it rumbled. "This isn't much fun," the poor elephant grumbled. "I'd wish he'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget." But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn. The leaves blew away, and then came the winter. The snow and the sleet and the icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, "I'll stay on on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I mean what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, "Look, Horton, the elephant's up in the tree." They taunted and they teased him. They yelled, "How absurd! Old Horton the elephant think he's a bird." They laughed, and they laughed, and then they all ran away. And Horton was lonely, he wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. Poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For while Horton sat there, so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high, and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunters as much as to say, "Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I mean what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. But the men didn't shoot, much to Horton's surprise. They dropped their 3 guns and they stared with wide eyes. "Look!" they all shouted. "Could such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's new. Don't shoot him. We'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive while he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money." And the first thing he knew, they built a big wagon with ropes on the front for pulleys to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad that he practically cried. "We're off," the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high. Then down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship out over the ocean, and oh, what a trip! Rolling and tossing and spray with the spray. And Horton said day after day after day, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, but oh, am I seasick 100%. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. "All ashore!" the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed, and then The men sold him. Sold to a circus. Then week after week they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went. But he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Then, one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach, and darting along came way high up in the sky. Who of all people should chance to fly by but that old good-for-nothing bird runaway Maisie? Still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, oh, what fun! Why, I'll go to the show. And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie, I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild alive scratching. My egg, shouted Horton, my egg, why is hatching? But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of red and white shell, from the egg that he sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his. And the people came shouting, what's all this about? They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and cheered and they cheered more and more. They've never seen anything like this before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word. It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be. It should be like that. Because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him home happy, 100%. And when we get to the last page, we say, the end. And that was Horton Hatches the Egg, of course, by one of our favorite all-time writers. Happy birthday, Dr. Seuss. And now, stick around while Miss J shows you how to make your own elephant. Bye for now.
Hi, my little friends. I hope you guys enjoyed Mrs. T's story time. So now I'm going to be showing you on how to make your own elephant. So I hope you guys went to the library and picked up your elephant kit. If you have not, please call us at 908-757-1111 extension 129. That is the children's room, so that you can pick up an elephant kit, because that's what you're going to need for this part. So your elephant kit brings your bag that's going to have all your materials. It's going to have your elephant, your stuffing, your elephant's star or heart, your birth certificate so that you can name your elephant, and it's also going to have a couple things from Dr. Seuss. So it's going to have instructions on how to make your plate hat craft, which is going to look something like this. And you're going to get all these things with your kits so that you can make at home. You're also going to get a Dr. Seuss birthday cake. It's right in the back. It's going to bring a couple stickers. It's also like a workbook with lots of activities that you can do at home. You're going to get a Dr. Seuss necklace because it is his birthday, so you got to rock him. And you're just going to get just lots of little things for you to use at home. So let's go right ahead and jump in on how to make our elephant. So the first step that you're going to do is grab your elephant. Here's my elephant. Here he is. And here is the stuffing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go right ahead and just grab some of your stuffing and just start stuffing your elephant. I'm actually going to open this up back here. And then go right ahead. Just start stuffing your elephant. And remember, you don't have to use all of the stuffing that we give you. You can stuff it as much as you prefer or to your liking. Putting the stuffing in the legs and in the arms may be a little tricky, so you might need a parent's help or an older sibling. And just keep stuffing. I'll be using all of my stuffing for my elephant. So as you stuff, your elephant starts coming alive. Okay, once you have stuffed your elephant, here's its heart or its star. You want to spin it around, give it a kiss, to make it come alive, make a wish, and then put it right inside of your elephant. And once your star is in there, in the back, you're going to just zip this up. Could be a little tricky zipping it up, which is why you might need some help. And then once it's zipped up, all you have to do is tuck it right in. Tuck it all the way in. And then just close the back. It has some Velcro where you can just bring those two sides together and it closes. Just like that. And just like that, you have your elephant. I hope you guys enjoyed making this elephant with me. Don't forget to come pick up your elephant with us so that you can do this and the Dr. Seuss crafts that it brings. You can even take pictures of your elephant if you prefer. But that is it for all my little friends. I'm actually going to name him, him Horton. That's what I'm going to put on his birth certificate. But remember, you can name him whatever you want. Bye, my little friends.